you have this Ukrainian interference in our election as reported by Politico. And I look at that and I go, wow, the Ukrainian government sent incriminating evidence to the Democrats. Crazy story. Then they claim
But it was true.
Indeed. And the issue is, why wasn't that a scandal that the Ukrainians were interfering in the election?
Let's not get, because this is...
Tim Pool puts Bill Maher on the ropes in this heated debate from the Club Random podcast. The two go back and forth over the corruption inside the Democratic Party, and Tim Pool just does not hold back anything. Armed with facts, Tim calls out the double standards and completely shuts down Bill Maher's arguments, eventually getting him to admit that his own party is guilty of the same things they've accused Donald Trump. So let's get into this clip from the Club Random podcast.
There are issues like what you mentioned, which is not untrue, where it's so easy for them to go, well, they did this, so we're going to do it 5 times worse. And then they do. But there are some like that. But there's one that has no fuzz on it, and that's elections. When Democrats lose elections, it's over the next day. Kamala Harris, Hillary Clinton.
Not Hillary Clinton.
Not
Al Gore.
Well, Al Gore that was not Al Gore doing that. That election was obviously decided by 537 votes. There was an absolute, when it's that close, there should be a recount. And whether that recount went the right way, we'll never know, because that state was run by Catherine Harris and Jeb Bush.
There's a really good, I guess, I don't know if you call it a philosophical point that I've noticed that I think you're experiencing right now is I'm 39. So you lived through a lot of these administrations and these political cycles.
Yeah.
And you have experiences that I don't even know they exist.
Yeah, but you know what? I didn't live through Lincoln, but I know about it.
Sure. My point is, my experience in politics has been the Democrats have challenged more than Republicans. To be fair,
Trump's challenged the court?
Challenged the elections more than the Republicans have, in extreme ways.
That's ridiculous. So,
but perhaps because you're older than me and you've seen more than I have.
Again, there are history books, there's newspapers.
I know.
You don't know something only because you lived through it. I know about the French Revolution also.
My point is,
I mean, you could know about this.
Indeed.
This is something that people your age say all the time, and I've made fun of it before. If I wasn't alive for it, it didn't happen. I don't have to know about it.
But that's not what I'm saying.
Okay, but
I'm saying that in 2016, I didn't vote for either Trump or Hillary, and then I got 3 years of Trump as working for the Russians.
He was not working for the Russians.
Jonathan Che went on MSNBC and said he may have been a Soviet asset since the 80s.
Well,
and so for me, I'm like, I'm out. This is crazy.
I think in a way, it's pretty ridiculous that Bill Maher is trying to claim Democrats haven't challenged elections. I mean, come on. Just go back and look at Al Gore, Hillary Clinton, even Joe Biden. There's a long list of Democrats who questioned election results. So that argument falls apart pretty fast, in my opinion. But Tim Pool brings up a pretty interesting point. People's views on politics are heavily shaped by their age and what they've lived through. Older generations, like the boomers, see things differently because they've lived through more stable times. They look at all the current chaos and think, well, this isn't the America I remember. But if you were younger and you've grown up seeing consistent political drama, media hype, and social division, it just seems normal. As Tim pointed out, for younger people, this is their baseline. And this is all they know. There's also been this huge acceleration with technology, social media, and how fast information or misinformation spreads. It creates a totally different experience between generations. That's part of the reason why we see so many radical, woke voices dominating the left. The way people access information today is nothing like what it was for our parents back in the day. Back then, you waited for the news or you just read the paper. Today, you get hit with nonstop headlines, outrage, and emotional manipulation, and it's easy to get pulled into extreme views. It's a great point that Tim made. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about this so far. And if you guys like this kind of content, make sure to go ahead and hit the like button, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel. It would help me out a lot. And let's get back to the video, guys.
And so, understand, and I'm not saying you're wrong about history. I'm saying that experiencing a political cycle over years is different from reading the condensed history books, which of course I do. So to live through 4 years of a president their term every single moment. The history books gloss over most of those experiences that we don't have as young people. So I have people on my show who are 25, and one of the people who works for us says nothing ever happens. She's 24. And this is like a Gen Z thing. Nothing ever happens. And I said, are you kidding? The past 10 years have been nothing but happenings.
Yeah.
Here's the issue. When she was 14, she wasn't paying attention to politics. When she was around 20 years old and started, this was the natural state of politics in her experience. So this is basic. This is normal. And for me, it's crazy. And I think for you, it's crazy. But they grew up in this and they've normalized it. So my view is this, not to say that you're wrong, obviously. My point is, when I watched the Democrats accuse Trump and Manafort and Carter Page and all of these things, especially when they fabricated evidence against Carter Page, I'm just like, wow, I can't believe the Democrats are going to this length to deny an election.
You're watching a little too much Fox News or somebody
CNN,
who's slanting this a certain way. I mean, Paul Manafort was sharing polling information with a GRU agent.
And do you know how they found out about that?
How did they find out about that?
Ukrainian government officials shared it with the Democratic Party.
So?
Politico reported that. So you have this Ukrainian interference in our election as reported by Politico. And I look at that and I go, wow, the Ukrainian government sent incriminating evidence to the Democrats? Crazy story. Then they claim
But it was true.
And indeed. And the issue is, why wasn't that a scandal? That the Ukrainians were interfering in the election?
Let's not get, because this is a...
Yeah, guys, you heard Bill Maher just now. He literally said, yeah, but it's true. Like that somehow makes it okay. Never mind the fact that the info he's talking about came from a foreign source shared privately with the Democratic Party. And is that supposed to be fine? For the past 10 years, the media has been spinning nonstop, like Tim Pool mentioned earlier. Remember when MSNBC spent years claiming Trump was a Russian asset and Bill Maher soaked it all up? Now he doesn't want to admit that the entire system was working against Donald Trump. Apparently, if the Democrats get foreign intel to use against a political opponent, it's just no big deal. But if the other side even thinks about it, suddenly it's treason, and that's just total hypocrisy. And honestly, I don't even know what specific story Bill Maher was referencing when he mentioned GRU, but that's not the point. The point is, these pundits and media figures love to accuse others while doing the exact same things themselves, and sometimes even worse. There have been pieces, like in Politico, openly admitting that there was an organized effort, a coordinated machine to stop Donald Trump. They've basically admitted they conspired as one powerful media and political force to take down a political opponent. But instead of owning that, they just reframe it to make themselves look like the heroes. Tim Pool is exactly right. Why wasn't that a scandal? Why didn't that get the media treatment? Simply, it's rules for thee, not for me. If the left does it, no one talks. But if the right does it, or even thinks about it, it's the end of the world. Because these people aren't journalists. They're just pushing propaganda. That's why we've heard nothing but fake stories for the last decade, especially all that Russian nonsense as well too. But of course, Bill Maher doesn't want to shine the same light on the Democrats in this clip. Let me know what you guys think about this topic in the comments, and I'll see you guys on the next video.